Well, here we have a guitar I built a few years back, I think about 2-3 years ago. And it's this one's my pride and joy. This is Brazilian Rosewood. Got a 3-piece back, Brazilian Rosewood and sides, and then the top is Adirondack Spruce, and I have Adirondack Spruce bracing, and I use Brazilian for the bridge, Brazilian for the bridge plate, and Brazilian with an ebony stripe on the headstock up here. I'm going to use vintage bone for the nut, ebony on the fretboard, and I made the saddle out of the vintage bone. Basically, I just want to put new strings on it, but it's got a little problem too. It's just that the battery box for the pickup, I don't know if you can see it in there, the battery box let loose. It was anchored to the neck block, so I'm going to put some double stick tape on there and fix it. And also, I think I've got I got a high fret somewhere up here. I'm going to check. Might just file that fret down. I get buzzing just on one fret here on the high E string. Alright, I got it up on the bench. I'm going to put elixirs on here, phosphor bronze lights. They're 12s through 53s, which is what it's got on it now. And I'll tell you, time flies. I just looked inside. I built this 7 years ago. It wasn't 3, so I've had this for a while. And the high fret is way up here, and it's only the E string that buzzes. It's not a big deal because I don't play up here because there's no cutaway. So it's one of these up here. I'll check it, and it doesn't buzz on any of the other strings. It's just the the high E string. But since I'll have the strings off, I'll just address that. I'll take my fret rocker, and if it is high, I'll just take that one side of the fret down. Nuts in good shape. I'm happy with the action. The fret job is really pretty good on this, and there's almost on this particular guitar I keep almost zero relief. I mean, it's a fairly straight neck. Yeah, there's only about 3/1000ths relief, and I played primarily finger style, maybe a little light strumming. So let's take get the strings off of this and clean up the neck block. Take the tape off the battery compartment here, and we'll put that and get that mounted again on the neck block. Alright, I got the strings off, and here's the battery packet here. And the battery, it's still got good life, because you can check it on this pickup here. You just push and hold this button, and I've got all 5 lights lighting up. So what I'm going to do, I do have some Velcro. And I think I just need I don't need the hook part. Now the hook part is attached to the batteries, so I just need the felty part. So I'm just going to put a new piece on here. What I'll do is I'll clean the front neck block with just a little naphtha, and see if I can get the Velcro to stick a little better this time around. Okay, move that camera. I thought that might be a better angle. So we get the Velcro here, and just cut it to the right size here. And just stick it to the battery. Let me get it peeled off and we'll stick it. I don't know why that stuff is always so much easier to do when you're not on camera. So I got it unstuck, and I'll just put it up against the front block here. Stick it on. There we go. Okay. Here's an interesting thing. I'm just going over the fretboard with this fret rocker, and in actuality there's a couple high frets, or a few high frets, like definitely the second fret, quite high. I have not really had a problem playing it though, but this could almost use like that one video that I did of the Gibson, that SJ. I probably want to just spend time and put it in the that jig when I have time. I'm making that my brother a guitar right now, so I'm kind of in the middle of that project. I don't want to take a lot of time working on this, so I'm just going to change the strings. I just give these a very mild dressing. The ones down, it's just really 1, 2, 3. There's just some small fret wear starting there, but the one that was bothering me was up here somewhere. Yeah, I think this is the one. So I'm just going to file this one a little bit, particularly down where the E string is, because that was the only one that was buzzing. Alright, here's how I'm going to address some of these slightly high frets. It's not getting the deluxe Dan Early Wine neck jig treatment like that Gibson, but these are brand new frets. I mean, these it's a 7-year-old guitar, but I haven't played it, you know, as I say, played kind of finger style. I'm pretty gentle on it. It doesn't have a lot of fret wear on it. So anyway, I've marked this with the blue marker, and I know for sure that the number 2 fret here, the second fret, is high. So I'm going to take this 150 grit diamond file and just file the fret and just watch where the blue goes. So you can see I'm taking a little off the middle right now. The 150 is pretty aggressive. Okay, all the blue's gone. So because there's no blue on the top, I know that I did remove some material from the top. So let's see if the fret rocker rocks still. It rocks just a little bit up on the top here, so I'm just going to give this a swipe up here. Still rocking a little bit up here. Let's mark this again with the blue here. And there's two different profiles. I'm using the wider of the two profiles on these frets. Okay, I can see that took the blue off. Hardly anything. So that was the 150 grit. What I'll do is I'll just finish it up here with I have a 300 grit file. And this time what I'll do, we'll put the blue on, but we're going to try and leave just a little bit of blue on the top of the fret. See, this is a lot less aggressive. There we go. Okay, that's good. And I'm just going to do the same thing. There was another high one here, and I think the one originally down at the end. So I'm just going to do the same process, and then we'll polish them up. So I went up and down the board. I found a few high frets, not bad, but I've got them all level now. The second, the fourth, this guy, what's this? The eighth maybe, and then there was actually two down over the extension here. So now what I'm going to do is tape off the board and do that micro mesh thing that I do, the polishing with the micro mesh. Alright, we're all set to go here. There's a few frets that have just a little bit of wear that I didn't do any leveling on. So I've got these things, they call them fret erasers. And I'm going to use the most aggressive grit, the 180 here. And then I'll follow up with the micro mesh. But I'll use the 180 to get the divots out. Because they're not too deep, and it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much to get them out here. Of course, the first one here is the worst. And there's a couple small marks here on the third fret. I'll even do the ones that I leveled with those files, just to get everything the same shape and the same grit. You can actually see where the fret had a little wear. It comes, you can see in the reflection, the light, it comes right off. And the ones that I did the files on, I can see the file marks coming out. Even though they're diamond files. So even at the 180, these don't look bad at all now. But I do have all the fret erasers, but instead of going through all the fret erasers, I'm just going to use that micro mesh. Usually I use the fret erasers if I'm just doing like a a simple dressing like on the first, typical, you know, if somebody just plays the cowboy chords down on the first, second, third frets through the fifth. These things, they work great because you can dress them fairly quickly, and it goes up to, I think there's the 180 you start with, and then there's 400, maybe 600, 800, and I think you end up with 1,000. Okay, grab the micro mesh. Alright, this is just like I did on the Gibson. But I'm starting down at the most aggressive grit here, the 1500, and I'll just work my way through the papers. And again, with this most aggressive grit, I could see there was just I left slight indentation on that first fret. It didn't quite all come out with that fret eraser. But the 1500 grit here is taking it all the way out. Oops. And again, I just work my way up to the fine papers. Alright, I'm to the last few papers here. This is 6,000 grit. And it's been the same process right through, except when I get to the real fine papers here, I go crosswise. I kind of do a shoe shine right up the neck. And then when you get to the tongue over the fingerboard here, I just do each one by hand here. Just kind of rub them out. Let's see. Two left. 8,000 and 12,000. Alright, went all the way through the micro meshes. Now I'm going to hand polish it with fine polishing compound and just do each fret. That's a lot of work for a string change, but I didn't realize that I had more than just the one high fret. Okay, I'm going to do my fretboard routine, condition the fretboard. First I hit it with this Dunlop 65. It's like a fretboard conditioner and cleaner. Fretboard's already pretty good because of that naphtha. I took most of it off. Okay. Just wipe this in and wipe it off. Okay, then I follow that up with the linseed oil. This is a Brazilian Rosewood bridge. I'm going to put some linseed oil on that as well, just to condition it. I don't think I've ever had anything put on the bridge back here, so it's not that I remember. Maybe I did. I can't remember when I built this thing, like I said. But it looks like it's really sucking it up. Now that looks like Brazilian when you do that. Alright, and finally I'm going to just give the guitar a good polish and clean it with this Martin guitar polish. Well, there she is, all polished up. And there's a reason that Brazilian Rosewood is so highly sought after, like the holy grail of guitar wood. It's just beautiful. And when I built this, I put my initials on a little piece of mother of pearl there, and that was actually not my design, my decision to make the design. That was another router artistic decision making. The router actually slipped when I was doing the binding, but I like it. I just left the neck natural. This is mahogany, and then I put a Goto 510s on here with ebony buttons. And I'll start stringing her up here. I put all the strings in first, and then I go down to the headstock. And I've got vintage bone too, pins. And they're straight, there's no notch in them actually. On this one I notched the bridge back here itself. So that's what I'll do. I'll just put them all in, and then we'll get them all set up on the headstock. Okay, I'll show you one of the strings. I do it in my other videos too, but how I put the strings on, again, it's kind of how Martin shows how to do it, and they do it at their factory. I line up all the pins so that the holes are going this way. Go through the slot. I'll pick up a little bit of, I don't know if you can see, I'll pick up a little bit of slack here. Go towards the headstock, under the string, keep tension on it, just go around it and kind of push it down. Just kind of locks it, and I still get tension on it. And then I'll hold it like by the nut and just wrap it in. And then I'll give it a couple wraps. That's it. And just a little tip, I'll usually mark the string box with the date, so I could see when was the last time I changed the strings. And it's kind of nice to know. It kind of gives you an idea of how long the life is on the strings. These elixirs, I do pretty good with these. I get a couple, 2-3 months out of these before I change them on guitars that I play quite a bit. In fact, here's the box that was in the case. It's July 12th, and today's almost the end of October. Alright, let's see how we did. Make sure I didn't break anything. It still works. Just checked the relief with this, and right now it's about 7 thousandths, which is more than we had when we started. But I didn't adjust anything. I'm going to leave it. I think it just, there's a little more because we had the strings off, and it's just going to settle in here a little bit. But 7 thousandths is good. Feels good. The problem, well, these never buzzed up here, but the E string did. It's not buzzing up here now. Not that we're going to play up here, but so it worked. We got rid of the high fret, and I think the one up here was really the one that was problematic. I never knew I had any issues with high frets down on this end of the board, but they're not high now. They're all even. Got a lot of sustain. Try drop D here. Let's see. It's a new one for me. Just learned it. Okay, that's it. Plays good.